Well, In Focus health correspondent Linord Moudou is here with us again. Of course, it's Tuesday, and you have a real scoop this week.
Indeed, it's all about the Princess of Africa. Yvonne Chaka Chaka is an award-winning South African singing sensation known as the Princess of Africa, but she's also a committed humanitarian. I spoke to her Monday following her performance last weekend in New York to celebrate Nelson Mandela's birthday.
Just being in New York with all those stars and everybody was just so humbling. But above all, what was great was that everybody was giving their time for nothing and doing it for a man who was incarcerated for 27 years and put 67 years of full-time activists, being an activist. It's either on apartheid or poverty or just looking after human beings.
And speaking of Mandela, one of the recent projects is the 46664 campaign, which you involved in. Why did you personally get involved in this campaign?
I've known people who died of AIDS, and I still know the stigma that's around that, when people would not go for testing, would not want to admit. And I think we just have to change the people's minds. We need to change this perception. I think it's very good when you know your status and say, I know I'm living positively and I will take precautions to make my life a better one, rather than sitting there and not knowing your status and dying a slow death.
Now, malaria is something that you work at raising awareness seriously. Tell us about why you became involved.
Unfortunately, for me, one of my musicians died of malaria, and that even opened my eyes wider. I wanted to be educated about malaria. I needed to do more. So when Phumzile died, I thought I needed to do something. That's what really made me to want to be a goodwill ambassador for malaria. And working with Rollback Malaria and UNICEF and Voices and other organizations has really made me a better person. And I really understand the plight of all those people out there.
Tell us about some of the work you've done with regards to, campaigning.
I think it's all good and well to say, yes, we want to look at one disease, but when we do the combination, I think then it works even better. We've just come back from doing a very big campaign in Kenya. We've had, I can't remember how many people came for testing, but what was good is that even men, they came, and they all came voluntarily. We gave malaria nets, people were tested for AIDS, and there were boxes that we gave them for clean water.
You are an artist, very busy, of course. When do you stop being an artist and become a humanitarian? How do you combine all this work that you do?
Well, I think really, in this case, you can call me all. I've become Yvonne the mother, Yvonne the businesswoman, Yvonne the humanitarian, Yvonne the musician. I think all these things do interlink. For me, it's doing this every day and just saying, yes, if I have to go and perform, and if there's a need for me to go out to the people there and talk to them, educate them, sensitize them, I will do that. So it's a combination of everything, really.
You've obviously have a long, successful career. What type of legacy would you like to leave?
I think really about the legacy, the people will have to point out or say, this is what she's done. When I started singing, for me, it was like, yes, just wanting to be famous. And, 3 years down the line, when I thought, okay, Yvonne is becoming very well known and very effective there, I thought I need to use my talent very positively. I need to go out there and say to the people who buy my records, yes, it's all good, you're buying my records, and my life is becoming better. But I also want to give out back to you and say, I am here for you.
We want to wrap this interview, but before we leave, can we ask a favor and maybe hear Yvonne grace us with her beautiful voice? Is that possible?
One of the songs that I sang at the 4664, it's one of the songs that I wrote for Madiba when he came out of jail. And it's called Man of the World because he is the man of the world. He's loved by everybody. It goes like, put away for 27, an angel sent from heaven. He's the one who sets us free and gave us back our dignity. Father of the rainbow nation, warrior of our salvation, Madiba.
Oh, beautiful. She just has that sensational voice. Anyway.